Today, we're interviewing Tanner Stymeist, one of my favorite and one of the nicest people I've ever met, and a professional actor and filmmaker and singer, a triple threat that moved to LA with no plans several years ago and basically has been making it happen. Has been on an international, commercial campaigns, has been in countless films, has auditioned, has gotten parts, has gotten paid, and is actually doing his thing. So awesome to have him today. Let's get into his story. Tanner, let's go. Knock him out the box, Rick. Knock him out, Rick. Knock him out the box. Starts with figure out who you are. If you're not able to figure out who you are, you're not gonna really. It's gonna be tough to find like your profession or your career path or the kind of relationship you want. All of it, the kind of life that you want. You got to figure out who you are, and then figure out what are your objectives, and then go from there.
Yeah.
Figuring out your career path requires you to know who you are. That's difficult.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the like I said, the school system doesn't help you. Parents don't usually do a very good job of that.
Hit,
So
hit and miss, right?
yeah.
They do their best, but
So this is for like those people that are looking but maybe don't have the guidance, and this could plant a seed. So like knowing how you figured it out is very important, I think.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
absolutely.
the clues that you heard, and so maybe you start from there. Like you were, it seemed like you were allowing yourself to follow your passions.
Yeah.
So how did that? Was it your parents were supportive, or was that just you pushing for what you wanted?
Yeah. I've just always, I know my dad taught me always be positive, work hard, and he's one of the hardest workers I'll ever know. Um, and you can do anything you put your mind to.
What does your dad do?
He owns body shops in my hometown,
Yeah.
In Placerville. And
Does he love it? Just curious.
he does. He's retired now as of a few years ago, and he hired some guy to take over. But yeah, he loves it, and but I think for me, I know there was that foundation, and then I just always wanted to do what I loved, and I don't really
From
care.
from a young age, you knew you wanted to do what you loved.
Yeah, I think I just wanted to, yeah, just do what I loved, and I'm also kind of discovering this as I'm answering it for when I was a kid. Um, but yeah, when you're a kid, you're like, I want to be a cop, I want to be a firefighter, I want to be, whatever it is. And I never cared about money. Like, it's nice to have nice things, and money is nice to have, but I'm still not motivated by it. I'm motivated by living a fulfilled life of doing what I love, and um, I don't want to wonder what if I don't pursue these passions I have that I feel are part of my journey.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
What do you know what you want to do in your career? Like, do you have specific goals, or you're just kind of like, let's see where this acting thing takes me?
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for the ride. I do have goals though. Like I want to work with the greats. I want to be in these films and work alongside these actors and directors and producers, these guys that make great stories. And the reason why is because the storytelling's so good that you can't help but want to be a part of that. And
Do you know why?
I mean,
Why do you want to be a part of it? Do you know?
it's just very, as an actor, it's very attractive to be like, if I could be a part of this story that's being told so well, like that'd be amazing. An amazing experience. And because movies are so powerful too. So a big reason why I love being an actor is it's more than storytelling, um, which is still huge, but within that storytelling is you change lives and you inspire people, and you help people see themselves. When you're doing storytelling right, these things happen, and films have changed my life, and I'll watch a film and see myself in a character, and I won't feel alone for something maybe through depression you're going through, and you see a film and it's very realistically depicted. You're like, oh, that's me, and it makes you think, well, if there's a story being made of that, then and if I feel that way, there's got to be, you know, tons of other people feeling the same way. So it's very powerful.
I totally get you, man. It's one of the reasons I got involved with, film production, because not every film can touch people, and you got to make money sometimes, and you make like investment decisions, but the goal is like to tell a story, to connect with people, because
Yeah.
if you think about it through film, like video, whatever it is, a film, a short film, a long film, doesn't matter, full feature, you can potentially reach the whole world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can reach somebody in a secluded, tribe, or living without internet, and gets access to this movie, and opens their mind to like a different way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And if it's a gripping enough story, and it could be a story about, you know, people from different races interacting, or whatever it is, to help somebody maybe open their mind to like accepting different people, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's limitless, versus just talking to somebody in person. It's a one-off transaction.
Yeah.
If you record something that's powerful, it's like it could reach exponential people. You're already on your way. And I'm happy for you, and I would love to like keep up with your progression. I feel like it's just a matter of time. And someday they're going to be playing this back. Oh, we found like an old vault tape from some idiotic podcast that was on for like 3 episodes, but
Get out of here.
but Tanner was on, and
You never know, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We should definitely have you back.
I would love to come back. This is so fun.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's the key, man.
Yeah.
If you have a good time, then that's why I want to keep it genuine, because if it's not fun, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
If it's not fun, I'm going to run. Seriously,
Hey.
because I know that's just a dead end.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. I can go back to corporate and make a comfortable living for the rest of my career.
Yeah.
It's just boring, man. I'm done.
Yeah,
I
it's
got
not-
it. You know what I mean? It's not where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. It's not fulfilling.
No, it's like putting you in a desk job.
Oh, I've been
Like,
there, dude. It's
You can do it, and you can give up on who you are and do it, but you need to be in the acting world.
Yeah.
Whether it's acting, coaching there's so many things you can do in the acting industry, by the way.
Yeah.
You might cut your teeth on acting for 10 years, do some, like my partner started as an actor, came here as an actor, struggled as an actor, then he became a writer, wrote his own stuff, then he produced a couple, then he directed a couple projects. He just grinded his way to the top. I mean, he's not he's still getting over that hump now, but now it's been 5 years into his own production company.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's really building some momentum. I mean, but it took, he had to build that over a whole career, man.
Yeah.
20 plus years.
Yeah. And like we were saying earlier, how like I've only been in LA for 3 years. But before LA, I've been acting for like 4, 5-ish years. It's kind of hard to put it together because like I think most actors or some actors will take breaks, because there was a couple of times where I wasn't sure if I was sure if acting was my thing, then I wasn't sure. It was a little bit back and forth, but I think total now it's been about maybe 7 or 8-ish years, but yeah.
So you get into that 10-year mark, man.
Yeah, man.
And it doesn't mean you have to have 10 years. Some people need 15. Some people need 7.
I know.
Some of it's just depends, on circumstances, opportunity,
Yep.
your level of confidence, going for it, taking advantage of all opportunities,
Yeah.
perfectionism.
Yeah.
Seriously, man, like that. We could all get there faster. It doesn't mean you have to,
Right.
but always be like rethinking, man.
Yeah, I mean
Work on that movie, dude, for sure. Like that would be
Yeah.
cool, but maybe do some just fun stuff Show yourself.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Show yourself.
reveal yourself. Yeah.
Reveal yourself. Do a little bit right now. We can cut it out later.
It's
Do a little acting. Let's do it. I'll do it with you.
I mean, anything that I do
Let's do a
here would be
scene.
just like improv
Yeah. Let's
stuff.
Have you
but
ever done a reading, like a script reading?
like a
for a
table
movie?
read?
Yeah, like a table read.
Yeah, just for like films that I was in or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Of course you have. Why would I ask that? But it's so much fun.
yeah, oh
You
yeah.
kind of act it out, but it's like, you're just sitting around just like this,
Yeah.
having a drink.
Yeah.
What say you?
Oh, you want to do that?
Yeah. Let's do a scene.
Oh.
What do you think? Teach me a scene. I'll do it with you.
Well, I can teach
Or let's
you.
do some improv.
I mean, if we had a script, like I would if we had a script, I would give you the script and just not say anything to you and just go ahead and just do it. you know?
Huh.
See what you do first, and
then give me some background.
yeah, or
on the
just
character.
just some things because like at least for me, I found like acting class wasn't for me. That's what I found, and it got me in my head as an actor. And I got out of acting class to like restart everything, go back to instincts and stuff. So I'm passionate about people just doing it on their own first.
So what are you doing, like, if you don't mind me asking, with your
Hmm.
career? Like, you're going on auditions for
Yeah.
feature films. Like, what are you doing? And I want to see if we can come up with some ideas, because I got some ideas for you. Maybe.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
I'm an out of the box. I like out of the box thinking, man. Like,
Yeah.
all the great ideas are new ideas, or they mimic old ideas and make them new. Like,
Yeah.
there's opportunities now that are different than 2 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah. Well, especially right now with like quarantine and everything, it's a very unique time. But yeah, I mean, really, like the name of the game where I'm at of trying to find an agent or a manager and auditioning is just self-submitting yourself to projects, of course, and then cold emailing agents and managers, and some don't even like to be emailed. But at first, for the first few years, I never emailed the ones who said like, "Don't email us." But this year, I was like, I don't even care. It's gonna be fine. Like the worst that's gonna happen is they're gonna say no, and it's not a big deal. So I started doing that recently, but it's either that or you make a film and it does well, and people see you and notice you, and that's basically the name of the game. Until it
How
just
are the auditions going right now? Like, you submit online. How does it work? Are you getting parts?
Yes.
Has it dried up because of the pandemic?
Yeah, so there's Actors Access, LA Casting. Those are really the main ones, and then Casting Frontier. But LA Casting Frontier more like commercial based, and then Actors Access is much more theatrical based. And there's the projects that you see as an independent actor, which is mostly just independent shorts or some features and student films. And the agents and managers, they have a whole different list of breakdowns to things that you actually want to go out for. So that's the wall there. So you can't. So if you don't have an agent, you can't even audition for these great projects.
Why not start posting little scenes of yourself, like every day, one a day? Literally, it could be just you and your camera doing like a scene from Beethoven, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell you want. It's yours. It's your interpretation. It's your decision.
Yeah.
What if it touches somebody? What if it's poetry that you write? What if it's just, like I said, if nothing, do things that do the story you want to tell before the film. Like, do sample scenes from your own creative mind. Like, hey, I want to, what's the biggest story you want to tell people? If you could only do one movie or one, message, what would it be that reached the whole world?
So far I've narrowed it down to it's something I'd want to utilize all my gifts in. because I'm also a musician and a singer and songwriter. So, um, yeah, so I would want the invest that because all that stuff takes a lot of time and energy, and I'd want to invest that into what I'm doing now with just like the cold emails and like auditioning and all that stuff, but also writing the script and honing it and making that the best it can be. Um, and it would be about basically so far just a struggling musician who's just trying to make it. And I can utilize the singing and the guitar and piano, and um, you know, it's one thing having that idea, and then it's another thing of making it great, like shooting it and getting a crew together. So it just takes a lot of work, but it's a process, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
So your work, are you saying you're kind of working on your movie
Yeah,
sort of
essentially it's
concurrently?
it's honing in on that's so far that's most likely the first film I'm gonna make is probably that story
Is it a
about
full feature film?
it's just gonna be like a short. I don't know how long it is 'cause I don't want to put like a limit
Yeah.
on it, but it's just gonna be
All
however
right.
minutes long.
Cool.
But yeah, nothing just too ambitious. I don't want to overwhelm myself or make it too
Do you have a
difficult.
Do you have like a deadline for completing it?
No, I just it's just been something I've been doing behind everything else. Um, which actually I'll be posting more like cover songs on my Instagram and stuff too. But that's another thing that I've been trying to do is show like I also sing and play guitar and play piano like that also separates you,
Right.
you know, and no one person is the same, but that also helps. But yeah, that's essentially
Can you incorporate that in your short?
the guitar and
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I was
Is it going to
mentioning.
be a musical?
Not like a musical, but more just like just a drama, gritty film, just about
Yeah.
you know a struggling
Modern. It could
musician.
be a modern day musical. Doesn't have to be in the category of a musical, but
Right.
you'll have music in it. Like
Yeah.
I'm picturing if it's a short,
Yeah.
you wake up, you're in the it's morning, you're at your piano, you got
Right.
windows open, breeze, you're like doing you have like some song you're working on,
Yeah.
it's touching, it's sort of telling the story,
Yeah.
in the song, and then you like screw it up and you're frustrated, and then
Yep.
something happens, and there's at the end there's a song or something, so there's music, but
Mhm.
it's like you're depicting your struggle,
Yeah.
a day in the life of maybe.
Yeah. It's a nice title.
Hmm.
But yeah,
I'm seeing black and white here.
it could be.
Everything starts with an idea. Why not this one?
Yeah.
Maybe it won't happen, but
Right.
maybe you have an actress in mind. Maybe you guys have some kind of on-screen chemistry, or
Right.
maybe a little off-screen chemistry. It's going to be good for the tabloids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
For the paparazzi. Yeah.
Exactly, man. It's good for marketing, good for branding.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. So you're doing the short. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, if you want to get a little crazy,
Yeah.
start like using your social media, man. Like, why not? Like, if you're an actor, Smurf, you should be acting the shit out of it, man. Like, you should be
Yeah.
like posting stuff. Could be. You could be. Let's not say you should be. You shouldn't be doing anything.
Mhm.
You should be doing exactly what you're doing,
Yeah.
but you could be starting in the future at some point, like posting little scenes.
Right.
Like if I was a singer, Smurf, right? And I was like Beyonce, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm confident.
Mhm.
I would be every day grabbing my phone first thing in the damn morning after I gargle and be like, yeah, like, hey, what's up, world? Yeah, one day you're going to see me and you're going to put me on the record.
Yeah.
And why aren't you doing that with acting? Like, I like your reel. I want to see, I would like to actually stumble across, because I see a few people doing it, but some of them aren't really that great.
You're talking about
they're
like
doing it.
self
Yeah.
tapes. They're posting their self tapes and stuff.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
literally you wake up, and if you want, you could challenge me. Every morning I'll do some sort of post, and every morning you do an acting scene
Yeah.
It could be 2 seconds.
Like
It could be you talking to me, right? Take a
it
scene.
could be, right?
Yeah.
Could be anything.
Put the phone, don't spend less than the amount of time you have.
Yeah.
Because you're a busy guy. You're gonna
Yeah.
have to carve something out. So you can say, all right, I'm carving out 5 minutes of sleep time. And for 5 minutes a day, I'm gonna post a scene, any scene.
Yeah.
It's just an idea.
That's
But
the
I'm saying, why not? If you are an actor, Smurf, and you're as good as you think you are, and I know you are, I know you're very good, and
thanks.
you're gonna need to practice anyway. So it gives you immediate feedback. Even the haters, you're gonna go, how do I shut them? Not that you have to listen to everyone, but
Yeah.
it's not just about getting the feedback, but that's part of it. Like, and that's why I should be posting more. Like, I could be posting more. Don't get me wrong, by the way. I'm not judging you for not doing this thing I'm telling you,
Yeah.
because I also am not taking advantage of things that I could be, but I'm too overthinking still. Like, I don't want to like post too much. People are gonna judge me.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to post too much. Some people will be
True.
like, "Oh, I'm seeing too much of this person."
But who cares? Like, you should. I'm just saying, as an object. See, I'm not in your head. See, I can give you. It's
Yeah.
easier to give other people advice because you're not insecure for them. So since I see you, I'm like, this is clearly an actor, Smurf.
Yeah.
He should be. He's already going for 100%. Other than you have a job, which
Yeah.
does hold you back, but you gotta pay the bills. I'm a realist too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it does hold you back. If you could ever like
Sorry.
make money doing, the other thing without the other thing, then it's better. But
Yeah.
you're already going for it. It
Yeah.
seems like you're in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
So then just who cares? I mean, I don't know. If I was your manager,
Mhm.
I would say, you ready to get crazy? And you would say, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Depends on
And I'd say,
crazy.
well,
Yeah.
let's say nothing illegal, nothing to do with the adult industry.
Yeah.
Are you ready to get crazy? Other than that, yes.
Yeah.
Are you ready to get Al Pacino level?
Mm.
Dude, from what I know about Al Pacino, for example, and I'm not saying you should be Al Pacino.
Who's Al Pacino again?
He would, if he was a young actor today, he would be like raping social media.
Mm.
He'd be like, look at me, motherfuckers. Put me on the fucking next big movie. Look at who you have right in front of you. And even if he didn't have it yet, he'd still be doing it. And 5 years later, he'd finally and people would be like, wow, this guy's good.
Yeah.
Or, dude, you suck. And he'd go, I suck. I better go take classes then.
Right. Better get better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd get better faster because he'd be like, damn, getting a lot of hate here. Maybe I do need to work on it.
Yeah.
That's scary because that also means you might get a lot of hate, doesn't it? That's why I'm scared too. See, with the podcast, now that I put money into this equipment, I feel embarrassed by it, by the way, just to be transparent. And I'm not, I'm not fishing for like support.
No, I
you give
know.
it to me. I feel silly, like I bought equipment. Who am I? But I know, like, Rick, shut up. Like,
Right.
that's not, because I already know you got to fake the confidence till you make the confidence. So
Yeah.
fuck it. I want to do it. I did it. I can afford it. I'm lucky enough to be able to afford it. Barely, but I can. I got credit cards, right? So, like,
maxed out.
yeah,
Yeah.
invest in myself. Invest in yourself, Tanner.
Yeah, man.
Seriously, like I wasn't investing in myself before. I was making excuses.
Yeah.
Oh, the sound's not good enough. I swear. Last year I taped a bunch of podcast material with my buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the sound's not great. Oh, and then we never got to the editing and just never happened.
Right.
So, but the point is, if I was your manager, I would tell you, man, like, I want you to start, if you want to get crazy, start doing this. It's
Yeah.
going to get you there faster.
Yeah, I think
So why not?
what I really
Is it fear?
What is it? I think I know what I really want to do is the first actual film that I put out there, like something that because I mean, to me, a film is like, even if you make a 15-second thing and of you acting, like that's a film you made. So like the first thing that I make, I want it to be the best it can be. So that will take a lot more effort, and I would rather invest into making that like as best it can be, as opposed to doing like a bunch of little things. But that's just how.
I respect that,
Yeah.
and I am sort of on that path too. Like
Yeah.
Josh has seen my perfectionism come out a little bit.
Mm.
Like perfectionism comes from fear though, like because you're afraid it's not good enough. But
I don't.
it does result in better product oftentimes if you don't let it become debilitating.
Yeah.
Like most of the greats were, extremely nitpicky, man. Like,
Yeah.
like Michael Jackson was the most nitpicky, you know,
Mm-hmm.
choreographer and
Singer, performer,
singer and
the grace.
writer. He would be like, nope, that note, no, when they'd be filming, but it's also debilitating for a lot of people. And it's why a lot of people never pursue, because they don't want to fail. And
Yeah.
they never release anything. And that's even worse.
Oh yeah.
So it's got to be a balance.
Yeah. So
I definitely am aware of using that and then stalling by allowing other things to enter my life and then not actually like jumping out of the plane. So I'm very aware of like keeping the momentum going. So if you're doing this movie, you should be making, I would recommend that you keep a certain momentum going with it, because it's hard when you lose the momentum. The boulder rolls back down the hill and you got to start all over.
right.
Because you're getting other people involved, people are getting excited, and then if you kind of drop it, everyone loses that excitement. You got to start all over again. You got to start convincing people you want to do this and
Yeah.
rolling it back up the hill all over again.
Yeah. Making a film it's one of the hardest things you could ever create. I think like it's not just you just write a song and then you're like, cool, like I wrote the lyrics and the music and everything, and it's done. It's like you need lighting, you need a guy to work the camera, this fella right here, time and energy. It's a lot to make it worthwhile.
For whatever it's worth, if you need a heavy bearded older gentleman to play a part, I know someone.
I appreciate that. Acting class wasn't for me. That's what I found, and it got me in my head as an actor. And I got out of acting class to like restart everything, go back to instincts and stuff. So I'm passionate about people just doing it on their own first, and then wherever they need help, find that help in a teacher or a coach.
How do you start out though as an actor? What would be your instructions to somebody thinking maybe they are an actor? How do you start out on your own? Do you just literally just jump in and start reading lines, or do you think about the character? Like, what should you be trying to do as an actor?
As far as
as far as playing a scene and learning to act properly without acting class.
Learning to act without class.
Or how would you instruct a young actor that is thinking about doing acting?
I've talked to a couple people. My little cousin, I think she's my second or third cousin, but she talked about it with me over Facebook one day. It was like, I'm interested in acting, and I basically give the same thing. I just I ask some questions, and then I
what kind of questions?
I ask like, what kind of movies do you like and stuff like that, just to kind of get them in the zone of it. And then I'll say, well, also here's like some practical things you can do. And I tell them like, you want to get headshots and you want to make these profiles and like actors access and stuff, and just get in these films, like just audition for stuff. And then you want to like do scenes with like someone else who would do a scene with you. And then I say, once you get to that point where you can't figure out how to do something in a scene that's requiring you to do it, and you've been trying and trying and it's not working, then find someone to help you with that. Because people do go to class and they can get very mixed up, and then they have all these
why
techniques.
Tell me why. I'm curious. I think I know what you mean, but
so like what can happen is like you go to acting class to teach all these techniques, and then you can get like very in your head. So what I mean by in your head as an actor is like you're like thinking about what you're doing and you're in your head about it. Like there's like a voice in your head, as opposed to like being in the moment. But that's also different for actors. Some actors are completely in the moment. For me personally, it's being in the moment, but also half not, where I'm like technically aware where the camera is and all that stuff, but also I'm being truthful as I can as well. But what can happen is people learn these techniques and they get so in their head that you can just see it. You see the wheels turning, um, and so people get caught in that. So that can happen in class, and class for some people is great. Like they get better, but for me it wasn't. But kind of forgot your question.
Do you? No, that's good. I'm just trying to give other people perspective through
Yeah,
your experience. Like, what should they be trying to think about? Like, would maybe it's the type of class? Because I mean, still, somebody starting out should start somewhere. Like, where should they
yeah.
begin? Like, and why? How do they know that they want to be an actor?
I
You know what I
just
mean? Like, you struggled with it. Like, what should be their trigger? That they like playing with action figures, or like they have this empathy for people. How do they know that they are an actor smurf?
I think you just never know until you try it, and I just like I said before, like just audition for like student films, independent films, like whatever you can audition for, just audition for it, and um, and you'll.
And don't take a class initially?
I don't. I don't
Or
think
is it the
so.
type of class? Like if you maybe you would teach a class that would be more generally beneficial, like, hey,
Mm,
look, acting is customized. You need to find yourself as an actor first before starting to take some specific class. This class is just to help you. I don't know, maybe there's a different type of class that should be
yeah,
available.
I think the class that I would say is like a business and film class, or a class that just gives you an overview of everything. Like this is what an audition is like the technical things. Um, I'm I have kind of the like rare opinion that, or it is a rare opinion to say like don't go to class right away, because pretty much anyone will say, oh, what advice would you give someone? Go to class. I don't think that's the best advice. I think you need to act elsewhere first, figure out what comes natural to you, because that can get messed up in class. Like if you've never acted before, go in the class and then the teacher starts throwing these techniques and stuff at you, you can't even process what comes naturally to you, and then you don't even know what's really there, and then you get all
Interesting.
mixed up. That's what happened to me.
Dude,
Kind of.
it's really interesting you say that. I appreciate it because I appreciate out of the box thinking when it makes sense. And I have an analogy for it, right? It's kind of like you don't start playing basketball through, a regulated practice. You just go shoot around.
Yeah.
Like you shoot around, you get a feel for it, you miss some shot. Maybe you go to the park, play some 2-on-2, play with your friends. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
might even, or for drawing, you don't start necessarily with class. You get a crayon, you get the feel for it. Then you decide, okay, you know what? I really like using pencils. I
Mm-hmm.
want to learn now like a technique. Then
Mm-hmm.
you take a class because you already know kind of, you have some framework for it.
Yes.
So I kind of think that's what it is. It's like, hey, go try out, go be in something, and yeah, you're gonna suck. Like it's
Yeah.
like if you were to go play basketball with your friends the first time, you're probably gonna suck. You're not gonna know how to make it in the basket. You're gonna be awkward, and you're gonna learn, and you're gonna see other people.
Yeah.
And once you pick up 20-30% of it, then go take a class. Then go, take a class to help you learn to dribble better and shoot better.
Yeah. I think too many people rely on class. And I'm not against class at all, because like I said, like acting class for some people is great for them and it's how they're wired up. But I do think everyone, whatever you do, uh, do it on you're gonna do it on your own first if you really want to do it.
Right.
So you're gonna find a way, and then you build that framework and that skeleton, and then when you don't know how to do something and you really just can't figure it out, that's when you go, hey, I need help with this, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that applies to a lot of things. Like school is not for everyone.
Yeah.
Going to college is not for everyone. Some people learn better hands on, and the things they need to learn isn't necessarily taught best in a class setting. You know what I mean? Being an actor, I mean, learning to be a photographer is better done if you're a landscape photographer outdoors doing landscape photography, maybe
Yeah.
shadowing somebody doing it. You got to learn better. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and some people learn better in a class setting, some people don't. And it just goes, to me, it applies to everything. Like there isn't a one size fits all. I know actors that are extremely successful that went through class,
Mm-hmm.
like Pacino. The reason I brought him up is he's an amazing actor, but also my high school drama teacher was in his class. She was his age, and they were
Oh.
both in a class together. And she
That's
said
cool.
he was nuts in terms of his commitment to acting. Like,
Right.
I don't know if I should say it's secondhand, so it might not be true, but she said, and I don't know if this is true, but I believe her.
Mm-hmm.
She said that they were supposed to go on. They had this one. They would do these different, activities in class, and one of the things they did was you're supposed to go up on stage and do the most embarrassing thing you can think of in front of everyone on stage.
That's interesting.
Pacino took a fucking shit. That's what she told me. I believe her. And it's because that's the assignment, and he's fully committed to being the character. And if that means doing the most embarrassing thing, then I guess I'll do that. And if that means defecating in front of an audience, then that's what I'll do. It's not because he's he's a public shitter.
Right.
It's because he's dedicated to the craft, man. That's the level of dedication. She was telling us that story saying, you should be willing to do anything. Here's my take on it. It may not apply to you,
Yeah.
but a lot of people have limits to their acting because they're afraid of what people are going to think.
Yeah.
And if you're limited by shyness, off screen, that's fine. But on screen, that's going to limit your expression in that scene, in that moment. If you're aware of the cameras, you're like, ooh, the camera's watching me, you're naturally going to hold back. So I think that's what's intended is like, get over your fear.
Right.
Don't let embarrassment, stop you.
Yeah.
There's motivational seminars that make you like go on a subway and like yell, in front of everyone.
Right.
And realize, you know what? That wasn't that bad. I'm still okay. Nobody killed me. I'm still okay. I'm still the same person with the same self-esteem.
Right.
But it's scary to do that because you're going to be such a pariah.
Yeah.
And in acting, there you can't have that self-consciousness. You have to be able to get in the zone.
Yeah.
Almost 100%. It's kind of like Michael Jordan knew the cameras were on him. But he was 100% in the zone, man.
Yeah.
That's what made him so great.
Yeah.
And that's what great actors do. I can tell when they're acting and when they're 100% in the zone.
Yeah.
Like the Robert De Niro's, the Al Pacino's, the
Sam
Robin
Rockwell.
Williams's, I'm just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Amazing. The Goslings, man.
Yeah.
Like DiCaprio, like
Adam
they
Driver,
don't give
Sam
a
Rockwell.
fuck, dude. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They are fully committed to that scene. They don't care if there's snot coming out of their nose. And those actors that are self-aware and they do the pouty lips because they know it's a slow scene where the camera's panning on them and they're that's now you're self-aware. Like, I already know. I'm such an overthinker that I notice those things, and that's not good acting because you just ruined it for me because you just told me you're aware of the camera.
Yeah, it's instant.
I need you to have a booger on your face and not care. Like, that's what's hard. When you're acting and you're in the mirror and you're like pretending to be alone. No, I mean like in a scene.
Oh, okay.
Like imagine a scene, you're pretending to be alone. The camera's on you,
Uh,
and you're brushing your teeth. You're doing
I've,
something
d-
that
I've literally done this in the film
you're
before.
embarrassed. You're flossing,
I've done the brush your teeth in the mirror shot a couple times.
and it's hard to really brush the way you brush, like because in real life you might like pick your nose, you might do like, but to do it, can you do it with the camera on?
right.
And if you're in the zone, you should be able to do that. Like Al Pacino will do that because he's willing to take a shit on stage.
See,
Nothing will stop him.
I get like the point where it's like it's about being vulnerable and getting in front of people and doing these things. But I just think there's so many other things you could do that's much better use of your time, like actually
What?
doing a scene.
Pray tell is more important than taking a shit. Everybody, what? No, but seriously, what?
Oh,
But it is important. I'm just kidding.
yeah. I just think there's much more better use of your time of to get used to being in front of people and camera work and stuff is to actually be doing the scenes and if you can find an acting class that has like cameras, then that's I think the best kind of class you can get into if you're doing film and TV.
Yeah, absolutely. See, that's the kind of thing that is out of the box, but so spot on. Like
Yeah.
you should be watching yourself. It's like you should be watching game film after the game. Like when you play,
Yeah.
soccer or basketball, you're watching game film after to go, oh wow, that
Yeah.
I did that. Interesting. I didn't think that that's what I did. Right? Like,
Yeah. Some don't. Like
right.
great ones don't.
See, that's a mistake. That's a great point, man.
Well, it's so interesting. Like Adam Driver, I believe. I don't think he watches himself.
Can I throw? Well, maybe if see again,
It works for him though.
exactly customize, man.
Yeah.
Like I was saying earlier, I know people. I got off on an Al Pacino tangent, but I know people that went through class that became amazing, successful actors, and I know people that didn't. They were like, I can't do a class, and they just learn by mimicking very quickly, and they don't want to be too in their head.
Yeah.
Class gets you too in your head. It's kind of like what I was saying
can.
about I like no script because I like live.
Yeah.
I actually prefer live to recording this because I feel like, excuse me, this you can edit. So you should be able to make it good. You could, but live, or if you're making a movie, or if you're making even a post on IG, I feel like there's pressure to make it good because you can redo it. But when it's live, it is what it is. Like I feel less pressure actually doing it live. I feel less pressure when it's unscripted. When it's scripted, I feel like, oh, now I got to remember this script. I got to stick to the bullet points. Like it's more pressure. And for some people that doesn't work. And I think that's what it is. I think you nailed it because I think I'm that type too. Like I think it could fuck me up a little bit. But I do like class. Like
Yeah.
I understand that learning from masters gets you there faster.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah,
just make that up.
We're
I
gonna
think in the
lose
last
that-
couple of days.
We're
Yeah.
gonna lose that camera in a second.
Yeah. All right. Well, we should wrap it up
We're
soon.
good. I'm in case I'm charging the batteries. I didn't think I had the charger.
Yeah. We're learning because you know what? It was my gut that an hour and a half is not enough. Because when I do the podcast, it's first about hanging out.
Yeah.
So like to say, all right, let's do our hour and a half and then, all right, let's cut off. Bye-bye, leave. Like,
It's like artificial.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
It defeats the whole purpose of, or you know what I mean? You lose. It's like making, I was going to say, it's like making Kentucky Fried Chicken without the like herbs and spices,
Without the Kentucky,
without the
Can't be Kentucky
I'm
Fried
not a
Chicken.
Kentucky. It's the second time I've made a KFC reference. I do not eat KFC for the record. Knock him out the box, Rick. Knock him out, Rick. Knock him out the box.